All right, today we're diving deep into some of the scariest stories the internet ever cooked up. We're going to explore the dark, twisted origins of 5 unforgettable female monsters. We're talking everything from angels of vengeance to girls literally lost in time. Yeah, we're about to find out what happens when a person finally breaks.
So, what does it really take to create a monster? Is it just one bad day? One moment of betrayal? Or is it a lifetime of pain that just builds and builds? Maybe it's something that was lurking inside them the whole time. These stories, they live right on that terrifying breaking point, that razor-thin line between victim and villain. We're going to see just how an ordinary person can get twisted into something, well, something monstrous. And our first story, it doesn't start with a monster at all. It starts with a little girl, born into what should have been a perfect life.
First up, we have the Angel of Justice. This is the story of Dina Clark, and honestly, her fate was pretty much sealed from the second she was born. It's a really chilling look at how fear and this obsession with perfection can end up creating the exact monster you're trying to hide.
So Dina was born to this super powerful, image-obsessed judge, but she had one quote-unquote flaw. Her eyes were completely unnervingly black, just solid black. And for her dad, this wasn't just some unique feature. Oh no, it was a stain on his perfect family reputation. I mean, can you even imagine the psychological weight of that? Being seen as a monster by your own father from the day you were born. It's just immense. So what does he do? He locks her away, raises her in total isolation. She was his secret shame, hidden away in a mansion. And this is where her entire isolated world just shatters. It all happens so fast. First, the family maid betrays her, leaks photos of her to the press. Her father is absolutely furious that his secret is out. So what does he do? He literally throws her in the basement. But that was the final straw. Something inside Dina just snaps. She gets out, finds the maid, and that's it, her first kill. But she's not done. She grabs this legendary sword from her dad's collection, a sword they say belonged to an angel of justice, and she confronts him, ending his life too. And as she's strangling the maid who betrayed her, Dina whispers just one single chilling word: guilty. Right there, in that moment, the scared, hidden girl is gone for good. She's taken her father's world of judgment and made it her own, twisted it into her own terrifying brand of justice. She is now Judge Angels. Okay, so from a monster born out of judgment, we're shifting gears to one that comes from, well, a mysterious, insatiable hunger. This story starts out innocently enough, just a family camping trip, but trust me, it descends really quickly into this surreal, foggy nightmare. And at the center of it all is a girl they call Lulu. Okay, so picture this. You're just a kid on a camping trip. You wander off into the woods for like a second, and this super thick, unnatural fog just rolls in out of nowhere. Then, through the mist, you see a girl, maybe your age. She tells you her name is Lulu. She's really quiet, her hair is kind of covering her face, and she just takes you by the hand and starts leading you to this old, abandoned house. At this point, curiosity just completely overtakes the fear, and you follow her inside. So she gets him inside, and he's feeling, well, maybe not safe, but definitely curious. And then the whole vibe just shifts. That curiosity turns into pure dread. He's followed her deep into the darkness of this house, and that's when he hears the whisper. This horrifying request that shows him exactly who and what she really is. So the boy, he hears these weird noises, right? He follows them and finds this hidden room down in the basement. And what he sees it's just unimaginable. The room is filled with bodies, all of them decomposing, and every single one is missing their eyes. He turns to run, of course, but Lulu is right there blocking his way. She pushes her hair back, and he sees her face for the first time, and she has no eyes, just empty, bleeding sockets. And then she starts chasing him, just repeating that same demand over and over, like a collector who's just found her next prize. All right, our next monster doesn't come from some spooky forest or abandoned house. Nope. This one comes from within. It's the story of a lonely girl named Alice and her, imaginary friend, an imaginary friend who loved her so much that it completely destroyed her. So you've got these two sides to the same person. On one hand, you have Alice. She's just a sweet, shy, creative girl who's really lonely, so she invents friends to cope. Her first and absolute favorite is Zero. But here's the thing. Zero isn't just some harmless playmate. She's a protector. She's a darker half, this possessive and violent part of Alice that's just lying dormant, wait. Then just total tragedy strikes. Alice's parents are killed in a car crash, and there are hints that Zero might have had something to do with it. After that, Alice gets sent to live with this awful, abusive, alcoholic neighbor. And all that constant fear and trauma, it's the perfect breeding ground for Zero. Her voice in Alice's head goes from a whisper to this powerful, commanding presence, promising her that she can make all the pain just stop.
And finally, Alice just breaks. Zero seizes complete control. And the craziest part, the transformation is physical. Alice's skin and hair bleach out to this ghostly white, and these dark black circles form around her eyes. And to completely erase any last piece of Alice, Zero does something horrific. She brutally murders Alice's one and only human friend, Anne, with a hammer. That's it. Control is cemented. Alice is gone. Only Zero is left.
So we've gone from an internal demon to a very, very external one. This next story is about a girl named Vaylee Evans. Her unique beauty sparked this absolutely horrifying obsession, one that twisted her into a terrifying creature of pure vengeance.
Vaylee was this really kind 15-year-old, and she was known for her incredible eyes. She had heterochromia, so one eye was dark brown, and the other was this brilliant, almost diamond-like blue. So she does what a kind person does and befriends the lonely new kid, David. But David, he isn't just shy. He's fixated. He becomes completely obsessed with her blue eye. And not as, a part of her, but as an object, something he just has to have.
And that obsession, it culminates in one of the most horrifying acts of betrayal you can imagine. David lures Vaylee to his house. He drugs her drink, and while she's completely helpless, he performs this crude, awful surgery. He carves her blue eye right out of her head. Think about that. He doesn't want to kill her. He just wants the eye for himself. And then he just leaves her there, bleeding on the floor, with his prize in hand.
But Vaylee doesn't die. Oh no. She comes back, completely transformed by this unbelievable trauma. She's now this specter of vengeance. Her face is horribly altered, but from the empty socket where her eye used to be, there's this glowing blue light. And now she exists for one single purpose, to haunt and torment the boy who took a piece of her.
All right, for our final story, we're looking at a monster born from something a little different. Not a single act of betrayal, but a slow descent into this maddening philosophy. This is the story of Natalie Ouellette, a girl who decided to declare a literal war on time itself. So Natalie's life was basically a pressure cooker of misery. Seriously, her parents were awful to her brother bullied her constantly, and then her boyfriend breaks up with her, and his reason is that she never smiled. Just brutal. And through all this, she develops this really strange, deep-seated hatred for the very idea of time. She started seeing it as this torturous force that was controlling everybody, and she just wanted out.
Her break, when it happens, is just so methodical and gruesome. First, to solve that whole not smiling problem, she stitches a permanent bloody grin onto her own face. Yeah. Then she decides to free her family from the tyranny of time by slaughtering every single one of them. And for the final, truly symbolic act, she gouges out her own eye and shoves a ticking pocket watch right into the empty socket. And just like that, Natalie is gone. She becomes clockwork.
Your time is up. That becomes her calling card. It's the phrase she whispers to all her victims. In her mind, she's no longer a slave to time. She's the one who controls it now. She's the one who decides when someone else's time is up. So when you look back at all 5 of these stories, you start to see this really clear and frankly disturbing pattern emerge, don't you? Every single one of them started out as a victim of betrayal, of abuse, of obsession. They all went through some kind of extreme psychological trauma that pushed them to physically alter themselves in these really gruesome ways. It's like they had to create a new violent identity just to kill off the person who was so badly hurt. And that really just leaves us with this one last thought, doesn't it? These stories are fiction, obviously, but they tap into a very real, very uncomfortable question. They show us people who were failed by their family, by society, even by their own minds. So when that victim finally picks up the weapon, are they just a new villain in the story, or are they something else? Maybe just a tragic reflection of the real monsters who created them.